Honestly, Matthew, I think this is the best they've ever done. Like, this is the best season yet.
I don't know, man. Don't forget about 2000. You know, they came out with some bangers that year.
I mean, look, the first season, definitely some classics, man. But the thing is, you can make a chicken and rice bowl at home, like, whenever you want, and just throw some black beans in it, okay? And boom, you got a cha-cha bowl. I can't make an elote dog at home without serious work, man. Like, this is the best thing they have ever sold, hands down. And it's the bacon, man. It's the bacon.
It is. It is the bacon. I want to say garlic fries got to be up there in the conversation, but they haven't been able to make a hot garlic fry in like at least 10 years. So
No. And the fans are on to that because the line to the garlic fries was meager. And rightly so, because it can't stand up. It can't stand up. And it certainly can't stand up to the elote dog, which, honestly, Matthew, I might go there when there's no baseball just to get an elote dog. That's how good it was.
Well, I just thought we were talking about what we heard on Alex Eats, from Giants Talk, and there was like talk of a dog with bacon wrapped around it and one with elote corn on it. I was surprised when I got to the front of the line and realized it was the same thing.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Right? Cole had me confused. The elote dog is wrapped in bacon. And then they put this, I don't know, there's like a creamy sauce. And I guess
it's a cardiac arrest waiting to happen, but it is so good.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a cream. It's like a corn chowder.
It's like mayonnaise, kind of whatever, and cheese and cotija cheese and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's all the things you would find on an elote, like Cobb.
Yeah.
Right. But it's like just extra. It's extra heart attack.
It is.
Right. Which it means it's extra better.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Oh, yeah. It actually was so good that I didn't even mind not being in line when Lamont Wade Jr. hit the bases loaded double in the second inning, Ben.
No, I didn't mind at all either. Just made me extra happy. It was like, so Matthew, where were you when the Giants scored their first runs at home this season?
I was looking for an elote dog.
Yes, you were blissfully unaware of the bliss you were about to experience.
And it made coming back and enjoying my elote dog in my seat with the lead all the better.
That's right. You didn't have we both had a whiskey sour.
We did.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they had easily the best food thing that I've ever had at the park. I mean, if that's your thing. Bob, music.
The Giants are rolling. The vibes are flowing. It's time for Giant Cocktails. Here are your hosts, Ben and Matthew Henry.
Welcome to another episode of Giant Cocktails. It's episode 281. Matthew, did you know that Angel Pagan and Forever Giant Matt Duffy, the guy with the cat?
Yeah, I do know. Yeah.
Yeah. Hashtag do it for Ginny. They both had 281 batting averages as San Francisco Giants.
Doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, so this is the Angel Pagan Matt Duffy episode.
Makes you wonder why Matt Duffy was traded in the first place.
It does. Was he traded for Matt Moore? Is that how? I don't remember.
That does ring a bell.
Was that a Matt for Matt trade?
Ooh, that would be interesting,
really?
Wouldn't it?
Yeah. Who had a bigger smile, Matt Moore or Trevor Wilson?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, they were both all teeth, man. I think they were both all teeth, those guys. It's like whenever they smiled, it was like, turn off the lights. God, what is going on here? Yeah, I certainly hope that Matt Duffy wasn't traded for Matt Moore.
He was.
That was a painful trade, Matthew. He was. Did you just look it up?
Looked it up. Along with Michael Santos and Lucius Fox.
Lucius Fox? Wow. Okay. Well, that's a great name. That's unfortunately a name that didn't get enough airtime.
Yes.
But, Matthew, on the scale of Matthews, I rank Matthew more below you even.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That's a nice thing to say.
Yeah. I mean, he was all right, but I don't know that he was worth Matt Duffy. And I know Matt Duffy, like the injury thing, he just never could get back healthy again. But still, man, that guy was a good giant.
He was. And so was Angel Pagan, for that matter.
Oh, Angel Pagan was a great giant. I mean, where would we be without that inside the park home run?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Enough with the banter. Let's talk cocktails.
Yes, Bob. Yes, you're right.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Well, thank you for asking, Bob. That's very kind of you. Bob, today I am drinking a whiskey sour variation that I am calling the Rye Smile.
Not the Matt Duffy smile. The Rye Smile.
No, not the Matt Duffy smile. Not the Matthew Moore or Trevor Wilson smile, for that matter. A Rye Smile. This is more Mona Lisa-esque. And you will find out what is in that cocktail, folks, at the end of the show.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Bob, I'm drinking an original cocktail that I'm calling the Matt Chai-pman. It's kind of hard to say. It's a working title, really. But that's what I'm going with. And you'll find out what's in a Matt Chai-pman at the end of the episode.
Here's the twist, folk. There's no chai in it. So we don't know why Matthew said it that way.
God, if there's no chai in it, I'm definitely changing the name.
Anyway, today is Sunday, April 6th, as we record this podcast. Your San Francisco Giants went 3-0 in their opening home series against the Seattle Mariners.
Woo!
To bring their record to
8-1.
Okay.
I was wishful thinking.
Say, yeah, this is wishful thinking. Way to go, Matthew. Way to go. Way to throw me off. I'm pretty sure it's not 9-1. It's 8-1. So I'm pretty sure they've only played 9 games.
They have.
Yes, Matthew tried to sneak in an extra win, folks. If he jinxed him, it's his fault. It's his fault. If they lose tomorrow, it's Matthew's fault. To bring their record to 8-1, which is the best record in all of baseball. The first place San Francisco Giants. Folks, I think we should wallow in it, honestly. I think we should all get out on our favorite social media platform of choice and just go start just roasting everybody. Everybody.
Find every Dodger fan you can out there and just ask them what it's like to be in second place.
Yeah, I don't want to go look and find out when the Giants were in first place this deep into the season. And we're not that deep. But I know it was a while. I think I heard Cole or Pavlovich say that they hadn't been, the Giants were never more, or maybe it was Kaspick. I don't know. It was one of those other podcasts. Maybe it was Thompson to Clark. It was somebody. Somebody said that they weren't more than 3 games above 500 all of last year. What did we call that, Matthew? It was equilibrium. It was synchronicity. It was Mendoza. It was, what did we call that, Matthew? Homeostasis.
That's it. God, how did I forget that? Homeostasis.
That's right. Homeostasis was 2 games under 500. And right now, Matthew, they're 9 games better than homeostasis right now. It's mind-boggling.
It is mind-boggling.
Mind-boggling. All right, so what are we going to be talking about today? Well, we're going to be talking about that home opener and the opening series overall. And then we're going to dive into whether or not this 8-1 record, this best record in baseball, is for real. Is this something? Look, we all know they're not going to win 88% of their games. We know that's not for real.
Why do we know that?
But, I mean, because nobody wins that many games, Matthew.
They've already won that many games.
Over 162, men, I meant.
I'm still not understanding why they can't do it.
Right. Okay. Okay. I don't know what is in a Matt Chai-pman, but I definitely should be drinking one because I want to be that blissfully ignorant.
Come on, man. They're 8-1. Have a little faith. Come on, man.
Look, I'm not saying they're not good. I'm just saying they're not 88% good.
Wait till we get to the second segment, folks, when he starts talking about why the Giants aren't good.
And that's what we're talking about. Second segment. Are they for real? Are they for real? Is this legit? Are the Giants going to be challenging for I mean, you know what? I still, you know what, Matthew, maybe we do need to have this conversation because to me, it still seems incredulous that they would be fighting for first place in the National League West for the rest of the season.
All right.
But first, before we do that, we have to talk about some tidbits that we couldn't necessarily fit in to the rest of the show. And honestly, you know what? I think I let you write the tidbits section because this looks really Matthew-centric.
I noticed that we hadn't really mentioned Wilmer Flores in any of the other segments, and so we had to fit him in, Ben. And the radio broadcast today, I'm pretty sure they said he hit his 23rd career walk-off hit. We could not verify that on all of the statistical websites. What we did see is he has 13 walk-off hits, and 123 times in his career, a hit has put his team ahead. So maybe there was some misreading of that statistic, but because I was like, man, Wilmer Flores 23 walk-off hits, but still 13. That's pretty amazing in itself.
And I do want to clarify, it's plate appearances. It's plate appearances where he walked off his team. So he did have a couple of walk-off sacrifice flies.
I think he even had a walk-off walk.
He hit it. He had a walk-off.
A walk-off.
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 A walk-off.
A walk-off walk or a walk-off?
Waka. Did you know that, Matthew, that waka backwards is caw-caw? Hey, if you're going to sneak your favorite guy in, I'm going to sneak my favorite guy in.
Okay.
Hayden Birdsong.
Oh, you mean the guy that couldn't even get into an 11-inning game? Yeah.
Oh, come on. Oh, that's rude. That's rude.
Oh, speaking of an 11-inning game, though. Okay,
right, yes.
So I went back and watched it because we were at opening day. I went back and watched it. And I got on TV for like half a second.
You were on television on Friday.
Yes, it was when I think it was Adames hit this ball into. It wasn't quite the left field corner, but we had seats. My seat was literally I could reach out and touch the foul pole.
Yes,
and
we were in the second row, right next to the foul pole.
So when the ball got hit in that direction, I jumped up. And you could see me, and I was heckling a Rosarena out there as he was getting the ball. You could see me, and then it went away. So I took a screenshot of it as proof. I was on TV.
Yeah, so if you want to see what Matthew looks like, you can go just look at whatever inning that was.
Or you go to our social medias and see the photo that Ben and I took of our selfie.
That's true, because Matthew is in that photo. I am not in that photo. I don't know who that homeless... nothing against homeless people. I'm sorry. He looked very good.
I just found the nearest old guy I could and took a selfie with him.
That elderly, unhoused man looked very clean, and it looked like he hadn't shaved in a while.
That's what he did.
Tell you what.
He did look like that.
But I don't know who that guy is in that photo, but it wasn't me.
All right. You stick with that. You stick with it.
There were two old men in that set of photos that you uploaded. Because you swipe over and it was Justin Verlander.
There was. That's true. That's true.
Or Pops, as I like to call him, was in that photo.
Well, and the home opener. So there were. Let's talk about that. There were, the pomp and circumstance before the game.
Yeah. All right, so Matthew wants me to move on to the next segment, I guess. Well, yes, Matthew. So yes, we went to the home opener. And, we haven't been to a home opener in a long time.
I can't remember the last one I went to be honest.
I don't remember either, but I have been to many. I have been to 15 of them. So, and they're always fun because, there's always a lot of pomp and circumstance and all of that stuff. And this year they're celebrating, I guess the 25th season already happened. But I don't know how you count. I don't know what to do with 2000. right? Because no fans went to the stadium that year. So is this the 25th season of Pac Bell Park with fans?
Seems like they're talking about it. I mean, that as
if there was a 25th season, because even though this is the year, like, because they were there in 2000. Anyway, point is, they brought the 2000 team back, right? The team that was that opening day roster from the season that the park opened up. And Matthew and I felt like, wow, that was a pretty good team. They could probably just run those guys out against the Mariners.
I wouldn't mind seeing Bonds and Aurelia, hitting back to back one more time.
They used to do old timers games. I feel like fairly regularly, right? Didn't that used to be a thing? Instead of giving away bobbleheads, they would have an old timers game.
I remember seeing small timer games at Candlestick when we were kids. Yeah.
Yeah, like you would show up early and you'd watch the old men play baseball. I guess that's just not a draw anymore, huh?
I guess not.
It's not like gold. It's not as good as gold-dipped Matt Chai-pman's. Chai-pman's, excuse me. But anyway, yeah, that was a lot of fun, and the flyover is always fun. And what I loved about that, number one, was I could see the afterburners blasting as they went over us, and so that's just like the 11-year-old boy in me was very psyched.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is they brought the flight crew to the game, the guys that were flying those jets. I guess they landed SFO or something, and then they get them over here.
Yeah.
And they showed them on the screen like later in the game, and one of those pilots was just hyped. He was super hyped.
He ripped open his flight suit, and he's got a giant shirt underneath it, and he starts just pumping everybody up, and it was great.
Yeah. It was very much a God bless America moment. You know what I mean? It was like, wow. It made you forget about all kinds of things for a brief second.
It did. A couple of things that came up for me. One is that there were a lot more places to get booze or cocktails.
Yes.
It seemed like there was like everywhere you walked, there was you walk like another 100 feet, you'd find another one. So
yeah, cocktails. Yeah, they had at least 3 bars that I walked by.
At least that we walked by.
4?
Yeah.
And we were just on the main level. So, yes.
The other one is that they brought out DJ Omami again.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
And it made me think, Ben, if you were a DJ, would you be DJ Bitter? DJ Salty?
Oh, I am kind of salty.
Maybe DJ Sour? Like, I'm having a hard time with this.
Oh. ¿Por qué no los tres?
Okay, DJ Bitter, Salty, Sour.
Yeah, I mean, obviously DJ Umami is taken.
Yes.
And so you would be DJ Sweet.
I would be DJ Sweet, yes. And you're DJ BSS. I like it.
That's right. I'm Bitter, Salty, Sour. Yeah. All right. That's my DJ name. All right. But you know what they also did on opening day, Matthew?
They won.
Well, they won at baseball. They played a baseball game.
They did.
Yeah, and I thought maybe we should talk about that a little bit.
Let's talk about it.
The first thing I wanted to comment about that particular game was this. 6 wins seems high, man.
Oh, man.
It seems high. Like, I've been looking at it. I've been crunching the numbers. I've just been doing the eye test. That's a simple eye test. And I got to tell you, I predicted 6 wins for Justin Verlander for this year. And I said it at the time, and I'm going to say it again. 6 wins seems high, man.
Here's the problem. I mean, he actually pitched okay. Like, he only let up 3 runs. It wasn't like it was this huge thing. But,
3 runs in like, what, 2 1/3?
But he had thrown like 40 pitches in an inning, and they had to get him out of there, right? Like, it wasn't like he couldn't have finished the inning, but even Melvin was like, well, I'm not going to let him just throw all those pitches in an inning. I had to go get him, kind of thing. And the part that does where maybe your feelings are a little valid is that apparently he hasn't pitched beyond the 6th inning in like any of his last like 14 starts or something like that. So maybe that's a trend.
Yeah, I think he pitched past the end of the 5th only once in his last 10 starts.
And you kind of need to get to at least the 5th to get a win, right? So
that's right. And so 6 seems high is what I'm saying. I mean, 6 seems high. I'm not worried about it, mainly because of the amount of depth that we do have there. For starting pitching.
You say that, but that's not, you don't just give up on a Justin Verlander, dude. It's not, you're going to be like, oh, you know what, Justin, we're going to like cut you so we can bring up, one of the Haydens. We're stuck with this guy all year until his arm falls off. then maybe
I think we only have one Hayden, Matthew. We have 17 Carsons.
Carsons, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. That's true. And they would probably stick with Justin Verlander as long as he was healthy.
Yeah.
For all year.
He would. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that does bring up an interesting question, because there's another guy that I'm curious about how long they're going to stick with him. And I blame you for this.
Okay.
And I know it's not your fault. I know you didn't make this happen, but I'm mad at you for predicting that it was going to happen. Because I didn't like it then, and I really don't like it now. How long are they going to hang with Lou Trevino?
Well, yeah, that is a good question. In Cincinnati, he had the benefit of the wind knocking down his home run balls. He didn't have that luxury on opening day.
No, he did not. No.
It's clearly the weak link in this bullpen right now is Lou Trevino, and there are other options, like a 6'7" behemoth of a pitcher in AAA that could probably do better than this guy.
Yeah, and I still contend that he's better than Bivens and Trevino both. I mean, Sean Jelly should be on this team instead of both of those guys. But honestly, we saw Bivens come out and pitch the 10th and 11th on opening day, and he had one really good inning and then one inning that was a little dodgy. But he only let one of the two Manfred runners that he got score, right? Yeah. And that's always a major play. He did that in the 10th inning, and honestly, the Giants should have won at that moment, right? That should have been a winning half inning for Bivens. So he pitched really, really well, doing Bivens-like things, Trevino, even though his velocity is impressive, I mean, I don't know how impressive it is these days, but
he was mid to high 90s. Yeah, he was hitting 97, I think.
It plays.
Yeah.
It just he wasn't fooling anybody. He hasn't been fooling anybody. He's not missing bats. And it just feels like a guy you don't want to see them bring out. And meanwhile, we have Sean Jelly, a proven guy from last year, just kind of, hanging out in Sacramento. He's probably the best reliever in Sacramento.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Well, I'm including the Athletics, Matthew. Oh. I'm including the Athletics. Every time I say Sacramento, you got to remember that. That's the joke. That's the joke. Did you know that they opened in Colorado at 37 degrees and snow flurries, and those flurries lasted all game?
Nice.
All game. And they had a triple play against them in the second game in the series.
Wow.
Anyway, but enough about the Colorado Rockies versus the blank Athletics.
I think the one thing that did excite me about this weekend was it seemed like Willy Adames came back to life and looks like a lot of fun.
It wasn't just Willy Adames on opening day, because Lamont Wade Jr. had his one good game of the season that day.
Yes. So the top of the order had been struggling up until Friday, and then both Lamont Wade Jr. and Willy Adames had great days at the plate, and so that was fun to see. And of course, Willy got the walk-off hit at the end there. But I also, Willy also he was kind of the center of the show the whole day. And there was a stretch there over about an inning and a half where they were just pummeling him with like 110 mile an hour ground balls right at him. I mean, the poor guy.
They were all rockets. I mean, during the game, I was like, I cannot believe that the only person who has an error so far for the San Francisco Giants is Fitzgerald. And that was a legit error that Fitzgerald had. But then I saw how hard those balls were being hit at poor Willie. They were rockets.
Yeah.
They were absolute rockets.
And what was funny to me and what endeared him to me is, then later in the game, he had like a routine one hopper to him that he fielded cleanly and threw out. And then he turned to the fans and just thrust his arms up in the air like it's about time or something. You could tell that he was kind of making fun of the situation. And that was cool. I thought that was fun.
And then he does the thing that we all will remember. He walks us off on opening day, and I mean, this guy's worth every penny, and I'm just saying that from an entertainment standpoint.
Yeah,
I mean, he had this wonderful dynamic with Julio Rodriguez all weekend. Julio was fantastic against the Giants in this series, just basically your standard Julio Rodriguez.
Yeah.
But Willy Adames made him. If it wasn't for Willy Adames, Rodriguez has at least 2 more hits, and Lou Trevino's day would be even worse because Adames had that amazing leaping catch, which it blew my mind, and I didn't believe it, and I literally saw it with my own bare eyeballs. And today, as we record this podcast, he also robbed Julio of another hit by cutting across the diamond and then making a crazy throw from the outfield grass just beyond, just to the right of second base. And then they're chirping at each other as the next at bat is continuing. They're yelling at each other. And it was just like, this is so much fun.
It is.
Like,
it's fun to have.
I love this guy.
It is fun to have players that just can have a little fun on the field. I love it.
Indeed. So, at least we know that the entertainment value is there. But now, Matthew, it's time for us to get to the most important segment of today. Maybe the most important segment of the year. So we better not screw this up.
Okay.
And by we, I mean you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, because I have a serious and important question for you.
Okay. Is
this team for real? Like, I mean, best record in baseball, maybe not. 888 win percentage, maybe not. But like, number 1 wild card? Challenging the Dodgers deep into the season? Is that the San Francisco Giants?
This is the question that I'm sure every Giants podcast is going to be trying to address this week. It's probably what all the major league people are going to be, across the industry are going to be asking. You're going to hear this question a lot.
Incredulously. They're all going to be scoffing. They're all going to be scoffing at it or shocked or, flabbergasted or boom-boozled. Or
yeah, I have given this some thought, Ben, and I am a believer. Okay, and the reason I'm a believer is they're doing things that no San Francisco Giants team has done in decades, and I feel like when that happens, that's a good thing. And so, for example, the Giants are running a lot this year. Right, they're being aggressive on the base pass. It only took them 7 games to get to 10 steals. Do you know the last time that happened, where the Giants got to 10 steals in 7 games or less?
I'm gonna say the last time that Bruce Bochy was the manager, because Gabe Kapler and Farhan Zaidi do not believe in stealing bases, because that's just giving away.
Believe it or not, it was way even before Bochy. It was 1960, Ben.
Wait,
so
what?
1960, 60 was the last time the Giants stole 10 steals in the first 7 games. I feel like that is an omen. That is like the Giants are a different team. They're a team that they're forcing the issue on the base pass. Teams are getting nervous about that. I think that if they continue to be aggressive, that could add 2 to 3 wins right there, just utilizing their speed and aggressiveness. Second one.
Okay.
They're 8-1. The last team to start 8-1 for the San Francisco Giants was the 2003 Giants.
Oh yes.
Who won 100 games that year. And they actually started 13-1, believe it or not. So we got a little ways to go before we match that. I don't want to talk about what happened in the playoffs, but they won 100 games.
JT Snow got thrown out at home.
I don't want to talk about it, Ben.
On a bang play. It was actually a play that would be illegal these days because he just basically bowled over the catcher, and he probably should not have gone to try to score on that play, but he did because and that was it. I think the stupid Marlins went on to go to win the stupid World Series.
They did. Anyway, that's why I don't want to talk about it. But the other thing is defense, Ben. Okay. We've seen it. Today they had an error, so now they have 2 errors through their first 9 games. They had only had 1 error through 8 games. I couldn't find an easy way to figure out like errors and games and when that happened. I'm not as astute on the old, computer as you are, but right. But I was too lazy, basically. But I'm going to say it's been decades since they did that. And you and I were at the game. There were plays that were made that were really impressive. So let's not just talk about errors. Let's talk about good defense. Jung Hoo Lee in center field, we've seen a couple of times where he's raced back and taken away balls that were hit over his head where you thought for sure were going to get down. You see Matt Chapman doing Matt Chapman things at third base. I think that this defensive team is going to, that's another 1 or 2 wins that's going to, just add up. And so, yeah, I think this team is for real. I don't see why they can't keep winning.
I agree with you. I agree with you that those are all good things. And I'll just add an emphasis on Lee. I remember Lee had some tough plays, I think, in his first home game as a Giant last year. And to this time, it looks like sometimes like he's wrestling a bull. It really does. But he's winning. Because he's just not going to let that happen to him again. He's like, this outfield has I think in the fight of Jung Hoo Lee versus center field at Oracle Park, center field was winning, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it
certainly put him out for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it had a knockout blow last year. But this year, Jung Hoo is winning. He's winning. And he has made some game-saving and some face-saving plays for other players and pitchers out there, and yeah, but it just goes along like it becomes something that we're expecting, right? It's Matt Chapman-esque defense that almost the entire team is playing. Lamont Wade Jr. looks fantastic at first base, even though he can't do anything on offense. Elliot Ramos is diving for balls and catching them.
Yeah.
And Patrick Bailey is Patrick Bailey. Patrick Bailey is so good at catcher, Ellie De La Cruz didn't try to steal against him once. I mean, this team really is built around pitching and defense, and it has had timely hitting. But here's the other reason that I believe this team is for real. Because on Friday, Matthew, on opening day at home, they did not look good, right? The pitching wasn't good. Like the starting pitching from Verlander, some of the pitching from multiple relievers, but especially Trevino, was not great. The hitting was not timely. I think they were at bat with runners in scoring position, not even through the entire game, right? But into the 9th inning 26 times. And we're only 5 for 26 at that point in time. And so, they didn't do any of the things that make this team good on Friday. And they won anyway.
That's right.
Right? Which represents one of two things, or both. This team has grit, right? It has that. They know how to win, And I know a lot of people don't like that sort of saying, right? Because you can't measure it. But here's the thing. Even if they were lucky, they were lucky.
Yeah.
And you need to win games like that. Like teams that have magical seasons have wins like this. And they're banking them now. And these things will matter later in the season. So this team, they've already done the magical things that they need to do. They're 7 games over 500, 9 games into the season. That's amazing. And those wins, that matters just as much now as it will later at any other point in the season. And so they may have already done the work that they need to do to sneak into the playoffs. It may have already happened, right?
Well, I agree with you. I think we were talking about this after the game, right? I mean, if the Giants just play 500 ball from here on out, then they're probably a wild card team. Yeah. And the Giants are really good at playing 500 ball, Ben. I don't know if you knew that.
I do know that, Matthew. I do know that. But yes, if they play 500 from now, they'll win 84 and a half games, according to your calculation.
That's right. And you can't round up because this is the Giants.
Yeah. So somehow they're going to find a way to win 84 and a half. They're going to win half a game. They're going to be the first team to do it.
They are. Another thing that strikes me, and as another example of why I believe in this team is you and I talked in the preseason about Elliot Ramos and whether, that he needed to really solidify himself as an everyday player. There was a lot of talk about how well he hit against left-handers during the offseason and that's why they was going to hit leadoff against left-handers. But he's batting .313 against righties so far this year. and looks very comfortable doing it. And he's got this like opposite field approach. And I just, he hit 240 last year against righties. And so this is a significant increase. And if this guy can do that, then, for the rest of the year, then not only are the Giants going to be, the better for it, but we have a perennial all-star on our hand. And then we talked about Jung-Hoo Lee, but he's basically a 2025 free agent acquisition. We didn't get much of him last year. And I think he had a year to sit. He had a year to kind of learn. He seems really confident and comfortable up there. And it's fun. I like seeing him. And he seems like a really good teammate. And so I think that the Giants have just kind of melded into, they've created this perfect storm of veterans and young guys and who like to have fun. And so it's a relaxed atmosphere. Leadership is strong. So I don't see why this team can't continue to be a good team from here on out.
I agree. I absolutely agree. And the fact of the matter is they don't have to be this good to still be a good team.
Correct.
Because they were this good. All right. Well, there you have it, folks. We've solved the problem. You can rest assured the Giants are for real.
I'm just amazed that you actually agreed with me that the Giants are for real. I thought we were going to have a battle. I thought this was going to be like, mano y mano, hermano versus hermano.
Yeah, some people might call me a pessimist or a cynic. I'm a realist. And these wins are real. They're real wins. And no matter how they play from here, even if this team is a 500 team, they were not 500 for these 9 games. And that counts. So there you go. I can't argue with reality, Matthew.
Okay. All right.
I can argue with you and your ridiculous logic all day long. But I can't argue with the truth.
Okay. All right. Well, this is the time where we start looking ahead.
Yes. This is the time where we start looking ahead.
Sorry. I'm old habit.
And looking ahead means we're playing the Cincinnati Reds.
So we're looking in the rearview mirror, too. Not only are we looking ahead.
That's right. And this is bad news, folks. This is bad news because this is the only team that can beat us. So, this is a tough, this is going to be so.
The good news, though, is that they've gone 2-7 since they saw us. So
right. And interestingly enough, that's it. We're done with the Cincinnati Reds for the rest of the year after this series.
Thank goodness, because Elly De La Cruz scares me, and the fact that he didn't try and steal a base against Bailey is interesting, but I just don't see that continuing.
Yeah, they're probably not going to let that happen again. I think Ellie's going to be running.
And I also their starter tomorrow. It's basically a rematch of the opening day starters, Webb against Green. That guy Green, man, he struck out. The Giants struck out 17 times.
17 times.
And he was just really impressive. So hopefully they can maybe do a little bit better against him than they did last year.
I mean, at least they've seen him once, right? So they know what they're facing.
Yeah. Well, they went from spring training pitching to him, so maybe now they'll be a little more acclimated.
Right. Well, I do know that he did lose. He lost 1-0.
Oh.
I think, were they the team that lost 3 in a row, 1-0, 3-1? Was that them? Were they the ones that did that?
I don't know.
There was a team this year, and I think it might have been them, where they lost 3 times in a row, 1-0.
Isn't it time for the booze, boys?
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, Bob, do it.
What are you drinking, Matthew?
Well, Bob, I am drinking, as I said, the Matt Chai-pman. And yes, there is chai in it. It's got 2 ounces of gin, 3/4 ounces of lime juice, 3/4 ounces of chai syrup, which is basically a 1-to-1 sugar water, and then throw in some chai tea bags while it's still hot. Make yourself a chai syrup. And then you add 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. Put all those into a shaker with ice, shake it for 10 to 12 seconds, and then double strain it into a chilled coupe glass and garnish with a lime wheel. And you have this very nice, refreshing, and sweet cocktail that I'm calling the Matt Chai-pman. So that's what I'm drinking, Bob.
That's a tasty cocktail.
It really is, Bob. Really is. I'm happy with this one.
What are you drinking, Ben?
Right. I'm Bob. I'm drinking the Rye Smile, like I told you at the beginning of the show. And I suppose you want to know what's in it this time. Well, Bob, A Rye Smile has 1.5 ounces of rye whiskey, preferably bottled in bond, because it's only 1.5 ounces, so we need a little extra oomph. Then you're going to take 1/2 ounce of Apricot Liqueur, 3/4 ounce of cherry-flavored syrup. I just used the syrup from my brandied cherries, and that worked out quite well. And then 3/4 ounce of lemon juice. You put all of that into a shaker with ice. You shake that until it is chilled, and then you strain that into a rocks glass with fresh ice and garnish it with 3 cherries, or 5, or 7. It has to be an odd number, preferably prime. And that's what I'm drinking, Bob, the Rye Smile.
That's a tasty cocktail.
It was actually really good. I really enjoyed it.
That sounds good. I'm going to go make myself one now after I do this. And that's a wrap, folks. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back on Thursday with more Giants content. If you can't wait that long, you can reach out to us on the social medias, a.k.a. Instagram, Threads, and what are the other ones? Oh, Blue Sky and the platform formerly known as Twitter. Don't forget, you can also listen to us on YouTube. So run over there to like, subscribe, and comment. But most importantly, be sure to leave us a positive review, like 5-star positive, at your podcasting platform of choice, aka Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Ben, it was great talking Giants with you. Until next time, cheers, my friend.
Cheers, Matthew. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the Giant Cocktails Podcast. Until next time, bottoms up.
Wow, that was impressive.
Gave it all I got.
It's too bad. I'm just going to edit that out.
What are you going to say? Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm going to replace it with AI Matthew. Goodbye. Old school's 1980s robot voice.
I'll come back.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, suckers. Don't do that. Don't take.
No, don't do that. Don't put in goodbye, suckers.
Our listeners are not suckers, so I love them. No. I love our listeners.
No, they're not. They're the most intelligent or most patient. Perhaps both. Giants fans and all of Giants fandom.
Got the best taste, that's for sure.
They definitely do have the best taste. Did you feel bad at all for Victor Robles when he hurt himself?
Yeah, I did a little bit. I mean, that was a pretty damn good catch.
Yeah, you know, the thing that really bothered me the most about it was just like one pitch later.
Game was over.
Game was over. It was like, maybe you should have let that ball go.
Yeah, I mean, his season's done, I would imagine. Jeez.
I mean, it certainly looked like it. It certainly looked like it. I mean, you know, that just reminded me of Jung Hoo Lee from last year.
It did.
I was like,
absolutely. Totally.
I was like, just what a bummer for the Mariners. Like, what a bummer of a series, you know? They played hard. They battled hard. They had some really great performances. Julio Rodriguez played well.
That Raleigh guy, man. I didn't even know who he was before this year. I looked at him, he's playing really well.
Yeah. Robles had a great series, you know, up until that. Well, I mean, that would have been his last play of the series anyways. And, yeah, you know, wow. Well, sucks to be them.
Yeah, we've been there.
Been there.